Patreons and Patriots, lend me your ears and strap on your tinfoil hats because it is time for the Gay Frog Chat. The Gay Frog Chat is a weekly panel discussion where we go chin deep into a different conspiracy. This week, I just have pulled up about 10 different articles. We're going to do like a hasty headlines kind of thing, but with a gay frog twist. Because, you know, why not? Whatever else we end up talking about, you guys can throw an @eHonda in the chat, and we will get to those, as well as... Oh, just got out of the shower.
Ooh, looking fresh. Ooh, my man. Ooh, look at
I
that.
needed it, man. I was fucking greasy.
Wow. Ooh, looking fresh. Look at this fresh cut.
Starting to pack and shit, so I got shit everywhere, dude. My shit's a mess right now. Moving in a couple of weeks, so that's going to be fun, but I can't wait to be in the new place, dude. It's going to be a drastic improvement in several ways over where I'm living at right now, be it a little bit more money, but, you know, it is what it is. But I hope everybody out there is doing good tonight. I hope everyone in the chat is doing well. We'll go ahead and say hello to everybody. We're joined by a angry platypus, the only venomous egg-laying mammal with a beak.
Yes. This is true. Yo.
Where does your stinger come from? Is it like an anal gland?
No, it's rear legs.
Oh, no. All right. Well, we got a Leo Red tonight. How you doing, Mr. Leo?
What is good? Finally be back after a long hiatus of being on eHonda's chat. Thank you for the invite.
You've been eHondless for a while now?
Yeah.
Well,
but I couldn't make it anyway because how my work schedule is. Just lucky I got off this weekend because of a funeral. I'm able to make it. So.
Well, I'm sorry that it took a funeral for you to be here, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
But, you know, shit in Chicago is crazy, dude. Crazy shit going on. But the only thing you hear in the news is Boulder, right? Like, Boulder is probably, honestly, one of the safest places in America to live. I can honestly say that. I'm not saying it's the safest, but it's certainly not the most dangerous by any stretch of the imagination. But if you watch CNN, ABC, NBC, Fox, even Fox, they're talking about this shit like it's fucking rampant. And, I mean, you guys know what's coming next, especially in my state, especially in Colorado. Like, I think we're probably going to have some sort of an assault weapons ban as a state if they don't do it nationally. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So I'm freaking out about it. I've been freaking out about it for the past, ever since November, this was definitely going to come. Now that we're at the point where I thought, okay, he wins the election, the first big active shooter that goes on, they're going to go right for him. I don't see that they have enough power right now for it. I don't think that they got the will and the guts to take on an assault weapons ban. I think that as worse as we get is red flag and universal background, but I don't think they go for the whole enchilada.
Well, and like the thing is, like I've got enough AR-15s, but because of this whole situation, I went ahead and bought another one because,
right.
And so I got to get a carry handle. So if anybody out in the chat has a good suggestion for a budget carry handle, because I don't want to spend $70 on one, you know, like 50 or less would be preferable for a decent one. So if you guys have a suggestion, drop that in the chat. I will take a look at it. But we'll get right into the stories. Tucker Carlson, U.S. military has gone full woke, waging war on those who disagree with them. The Pentagon has turned into a Yale faculty lounge with cruise missiles. And that's basically true. I mean, he goes into how the Special Operations Command has a guy in charge of it who's like an anti-Trumper who posted pictures on Twitter of like Hitler holding a Bible in front of a group of people and Trump holding a Bible in front of a group of people, insinuating that they're exactly the same. Like, you can tell these people, they're ideologically entranced with the, you know, hegemony of whatever's going on. It's a dogma that they can't speak out against. And these are the priests, the people speaking out these things to the American public as though they're truth, are the priests of the dogmatic state, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's almost a religion, right? In a way. Jesus. But, yeah, I mean, he talks about the whole stand down thing. You guys remember that? and basically they're going through people who are in special forces and vital military operations, things like that, and vetting them and making sure that they didn't vote for Trump, or if they did, they weren't like crazy about it, and going back and past 4 years of your social media posts and everything that you've talked about. And guess what? You can lose your security clearance and not be able to be in certain positions in the military because of your political leanings. So that's going on. Okay, here we go. Evanston, Illinois becomes the first U.S. city to pay reparations to black residents. The Chicago's Suburb City Council voted 8-1 to distribute $400,000 in eligible black households. So basically, you have to be low income, and you have to be black. That's it. So if you're low income and white, too bad. Low income and Hispanic, too bad. Black and not low income, too bad. But they're giving this money out. What do you guys think about reparations?
I mean, like, I don't agree with it, but I also feel like if you're going to give it out, like, maybe give something worth, because, I mean, what, $400,000, right? Let's say there's 400 houses, like $1,000 a household.
Well, and so I was listening to Jordan Peterson not that long ago, and he was talking about how some people are poor and money does not solve their problems, right? And he talks about the alcoholic who every time he gets his unemployment check or his like disability check or whatever at the beginning of the month, he's gone for a week on a week-long bender, drinking and doing coke and doing all that stuff. At the end of it, he's face down in the gutter, and then he spends 3 weeks completely broke, sobers up during that time until he gets his next check, and then, like every month he almost might die. And I don't think money's the problem. Giving money to people who don't know how to handle money, who squander it on stupid things instead of putting it towards things that they should put it towards, you're not doing anything.
For this, this really does nothing. Like, we have so many things like Section 8, HUD, and like other forms of getting housing. Anyway, like, this really just proves nothing. Like, when I first heard that they did this, I was like, how does this help really? Like, we already have these type of forms of government programs already to get affordable housing. It's like all this is just basically a big virtue signal. But now it just, okay, we're going to say this is specifically for black people and not just poor people anyway. So I guess this supposedly reparations. It's a bit nothing burger, really.
But so here's how I put the look at things if you are trying to see if something's racist or not, right? What if the shoe's on the other foot? What if they're like, hey, this suburb of Chicago, we're going to give money to all the poor white families only. So if you're rich and white, you don't get it. If you're black or Hispanic, you don't get it. But if you're poor and you're white, you do.
Right. It'll be... Man, do you know how the Democrats would be furious and on fire right now, and they'd be marching for war I guess a town or a city who did that.
Well, and then all of the people who were entranced with the ideology, all the, let's say, the true zealots of the statist faith that thou shalt not speak out against, they're going to jump all over that and come to that place and burn stuff down and, you know, get all angry, and no one's going to get mad about it, like not the media, and they're not going to call it out, you know. But if you're, you know, go to the Capitol on the 6th and walk through an open door, you're facing 6 to 10 years in prison. So, again, another thing, what if the shoe was on the other foot? What if there were a bunch of people who were like right-wing white nationalists or whatever who were burning stuff and doing stuff, and the media was covering up for them, and they weren't getting arrested, and they're being released if they are. And then like a group of like, let's say, pro-black rights people, like take it back to the 60s, like it wasn't even that bad for them. I mean, maybe it was. I think the shoe's on the other foot now is what it is, right? It's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not complaining. It's just stating facts of where we're at.
No, this just furthers the victimhood mentality. It brings a whole new generation in of, oh, you're a victim. Oh, we got to pay you. Oh, you're a victim. Oh, and it just breeds this poor me mentality that doesn't do anything for any sort of group of people. It just makes them more lazy and more weak. And that's not what we need these days. So that's what you'll get. More people holding their hands out.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is like, there's people who were riding in the wheelbarrow and there's people who were pushing the wheelbarrow, right? And there's more and more people who are saying, I'm tired of pushing the wheelbarrow. I'm going to hop on and ride now. And eventually there's not going to be enough people pushing the wheelbarrow for it to move because there's so many people riding it that it weighs it down and they can't get anywhere.
Exactly.
The whole thing crashes. Dick goes in, he says, so if they do reparations on a national level, are these folks going to be exempt because they've already gotten their reparations? I mean, I guess. But then again, like Matt was talking about it on his chat earlier today, like less than 2% of Southern, like people who lived in the South during the Civil War were slave owners, which means 98% of the people who were there at the time were not, right? And then the other side of that is half of the people in this country had come to this country after that was done. I mean, it was in like the early 1900s when, everybody came over here. Not everybody, but a lot of people came over here, basically doubled the population of America in a century, less than. So anyway, Australian school forces young boys to collectively apologize to female classmates for sexism and rape. And I think this is a sign of where we're going. This isn't something that just like one teacher in one class did. This is something from like the school association. These are like college educated people who were coming down to teach your kids and our kids. And yes, this is in Australia. This is in America yet. But they're basically saying like, yeah, you are guilty because you're a man for everything that other men have done. Period. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that sentiment at all. I don't agree with that line of reasoning because it's not reasoning. It's not at all. I mean, if you believe in individuality and individual freedom, even 1%, you can't fucking say that. But what do you guys think?
Well, this just shows how they trying to feminize men. They trying to do like a role reversal right now. Have men be feminine and women be masculine. Right? They just want to totally reverse the roles of society, and which will lead to our own destruction. If you don't have men leaders, this world gonna go on fire.
Well, they've been coming after. I mean, look at it from this perspective. Just testosterone levels, right? Like the average 20-year-old today has the testosterone of a 60-year-old man from 1950s. Like the testosterone levels are completely changed. And why is that? I mean, it's a matter of environment and diet and chemicals and all kinds of things. How much of that is engineered specifically to achieve that goal? I don't know. I think it's greater than zero, though. I think that there's some element of that. And I forget who it was. They were coming out and talking about, like, wow, the birth rate in America is down further than we thought it would be. Maybe the measures we took were too far. You guys remember that from a couple of weeks ago? I remember that from a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember who said it. I'd have to look that up. I don't have that one ready. But that's Australia. Okay, we've got so there's the whole anti-Asian like hate crime thing going on right now, right? And there's this national push that it's white nationalists who are going after Asians and like targeting them and online and doing things to them and committing actual hate crimes on them. So there's a list of suspects who committed anti-Asian hate crimes in New York City that contains 0 white people. So I don't know, man.
They look like white nationalists to me. I don't know about you.
I just don't know how they go with that narrative continually. You know what I mean? When it's like, but again, it's people who were indoctrinated. It's these people who were ideologically entranced, and so they're going to believe what they believe. And what's it called? Where you have a bias for information that you like, and you have a bias against information that you don't like. So you tend to listen to things that you agree with, and the things that you listen to that you disagree with make you double down on the things you already believe, The
echo chamber.
So yeah, I mean, like that shit's going on like in spades right now. But yeah, anti-Asian hate crimes. It's the white nationalists. Oh wait, there's no white people doing it. Confirmation bias. Thank you, Robert Levendy. Couldn't think of that word. Okay, so that was that one. Okay.
I heard that
oh, good.
I heard that Asians are now arming each other. Now, like there's more Asian gun ownership happening because of that now. So that's a good thing.
Dude, I've got 0 problem with roof Asians.
Right.
There can be all of the roof Asians in the world holding all of the whatever guns they want.
Have you ever read those stories? They're incredible. Those guys were defended their own. Like, no joke, no apologies, nothing. I mean, good on them.
Yeah, man.
You talk about. I mean, now see, I don't think that this is pushed by this isn't pushed by Asians in general. I don't think. I think this is pushed by the left wing. And they're just trying to use them as pawns. I don't really see this. I mean, if you want to talk about a race of people who, I mean, literally work hard and take care of their own and build and, I mean, I have a ton of respect for. You got to talk about, the Asian community. How often do you see them holding their hands out for things?
No, man. And I will also say this, like, I have a ton of respect for the Asian community for everything that because like talk about a group of people who came to this country in destitute situations, who were forced to work jobs that no one else wanted to. Like the railroad system that we have in this country is literally built upon the bones of their dead bodies from building it. You know what I mean? So for people to raise up, like, good on you guys, man. Like, seriously, we need more of that in this country, and less fucking hands out, more people picking up a shovel, less people fucking laying down,
Look at the decorations from World War II of the Asian units that literally came from the detention camps. So, they rounded up all the Asian, a lot of the Japanese Americans, during the World War II. These guys enlisted out of those camps. They didn't put them in the Pacific theater. They put them in the European theater, and they were some of the most ferocious units. And they got all kinds of awards and medals. And yeah, I get that was a dark time, and I don't agree with putting groups of people in camps, obviously. But like, they didn't cry about it. They just were like, no, we're American. We love America. We're going to prove it to you. And they like hand over fist. There's tons of accounts of those guys being prolific in battle, smoking all kinds of Nazi tail. So, all kinds of stuff like that.
That was Executive Order 9066, I believe. The internment of all Japanese Americans. And there was a bunch of people who weren't even Japanese who got caught up in that, They're just like, Japanese enough. Like,
you could be like.
Did you hear like George Takei talking about that? It's horrible.
He's always talking about it.
Yeah, he is. That's true. But it's a very horrible situation to be like a 6-year-old, and you come home and like, oh, there's just guys there telling you to leave your house. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, those people lost everything when that happened too, because like that's your house that you own, not anymore. That's
Yeah.
your stuff inside of it, not anymore.
Like, pack
Like-
what you can grab, and that was it.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh.
So Washington Post draws heat for changing story on immigration. The original headline read, where is it at? There's no migrant surge at the southern border. Here's the data. The revised headline reads, the migrant surge at the U.S. border is actually a predictable pattern. So I think what happened there is Project Veritas came out with that video where they had a drone fly over and they got insider leaking information, pictures from inside of these detention camps where a record number of people are being held. Like, more people are being held at the southern border right now than, as far as I understand, that at any other time during any other presidency, period. And moreover, more than the entire 4 years of the Trump presidency. Like the number of children who have been separated from their parents, quote unquote, like the thing that, Ocasio-Cortez was crying at the border, they're drinking out of toilets, all that shit. Yeah. Well, that's happening way more right now under Biden than it ever did under Trump. And they've been running fucking ruckshot for him, like trying to like cover for what's going on, but it's gotten to the point where they can't cover for it anymore. So they're trying to they're going from, it's not happening at all, like the only people talking about this are crazy, to, well, it's happening, but it's predictable. So it's fine. As long as you can predict it, right? I guess just another example. Another example of media bias, of course. Where are we at? Okay. Oakland, California will give low-income families of color $500 per month, no strings attached. So if you live in Oakland, California, and you are African American and you are low income, you get $500 a month just for being, man. Again, another version of reparations being paid in America today for social justice cause. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna send this to Lori Lightfoot. Maybe I can get an extra $500 a month.
So they're
Right.
getting
Hey, Lord.
Knock under myself and move to Oakland.
Right.
Slow that down.
I mean, it's $500 a month for 18 months, so it's a total of $9,000. Damn, COVID. $9,000 that they're all getting, which, again, I'm not particularly fond of just giving out money to people because I don't think that it's like when your dad gives you a car, right? Versus you work for an entire summer and save every penny and buy a car. Which car do you care more about?
Yeah,
Which car?
exactly.
Which car are you going to take care of more and care about what happens to more? So if you work hard and save $500, you're not just going to blow $500 on a night of drinking and, I mean, maybe you are, but if you do, you're what it took to get that $500, versus if you're just handed $500, it's free. Who cares?
But I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'll just spend that $500 on some more ammo
See
and a
it?
new gun.
I'm not saying everybody's going to use it for bad.
That's what I'm going to do.
So there was a Black History Month display for George Floyd, and someone came by. This is at Duke University. Someone came by and pinned the toxicology report to the shrine that they had put there.
Oh,
And everybody
Oh.
got the fuck out, dude. So basically what it showed, and this is the next story, is George Floyd had fatal levels of fentanyl in his system at the time of his death. The coroner actually reported that he had enough fentanyl in his system to kill 3 full-grown men.
does the trial start this week?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
I thought somebody said that. I could be wrong. I thought the trial started this week, and I'm.
Well, I mean, this is newly released court documents. So this happened like 2 or 3 days ago. So they're already doing things in court. I don't know if they have. I think they were doing jury selection last I heard, but I don't know if they'd have actually started the jury trial at this point. I think it's probably pre-trial stuff that's going on, like sharing of information, that kind of stuff. But I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, someone fucking pinned the toxicology report that was released by the court to the shrine at Duke University's Black History Month thing.
Savage.
And yeah,
bold
dude.
strategy, Cotton.
What's that?
So that's a bold strategy, Cotton.
I mean, hey, whoever posted that ain't wrong. I'll tell you that much. If you watch that video, he was really out of it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not saying like it was a good thing that happened, but I am saying that the mainstream media's view of what happened has a skew to it, and that makes it, you know, like maybe it's partially correct, but that also means that it's necessarily partially false, right?
Right.
So, dude, that bird's attacking this kid in the bottom right corner.
So, like, it's a really hard.
Sorry.
Nah, it's just a race between the boy and the bird. That's it.
Yeah, there's
Just a
racing.
little bike race. Yeah, just racing.
Alex Jones is told to stop selling sham anti-coronavirus toothpaste.
Wait, what?
So this is one of those things where the mainstream media gets a hold of something and it's got an element of truth to it, but it's patently false if you actually look into the claims that Jones has made about the toothpaste. Like, he has never, as far as I understand, flat out said, like, if you use this toothpaste, you won't get coronavirus. But he has said, like, it kills bacteria and viruses such as the coronavirus, blah, 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 blah. But that's just like a marketing tactic. That's not saying, like, this is the thing that's going to cure you. And there's people who have taken that and ran with it and then gotten lawyers involved and gone after him and said that he can't make those kinds of statements anymore. And basically they're using this as a way to go after his online store, right? So that he can't take payment. Like, they're trying to get him kicked off of all the payment platforms so that he can't take payment for any of the products that he's selling so that they can take him off. Because, I mean, they took him off of every social media platform that there is. They took him off of Twitter, YouTube. They took him off of Facebook. They took him everything, dude. Like, everything that matters, he's not on anymore. And he's still around. Why? Because he's got this way of supporting what he does through selling products and doing stuff and, you know, and that's kept him afloat this whole time. And so they're like, well, how do we get rid of this guy? I know, toothpaste. So that's my takeaway from this. What do you guys think?
I wonder if there's a mouthwash to go with it.
Well, what it is, it's like a non-fluoride based toothpaste. Because, you know, fluoride actually reacts with, I don't know, there's a whole thing on fluoride that we've talked about before, and I don't want to go into right now, but that was his point. It was like, I want to make a non-fluoride toothpaste and sell it on my store, right? That's all.
Maybe you could email Alex to get a sponsorship for the channel.
I've been trying to get on InfoWars just to be like, just call in status, you know, and be like, hey, I'm
Right.
Honda. I do this thing weekly called the Gay Frog Chat, and then they'll be like, oh, we love you. That's my dream, but, you know.
It might happen.
I think it might. I think it honestly could. I'm not saying never. Okay, so this is a European database that was set up in 2012 to track damage from pharmaceutical companies. And according to this European database, which is, I forget exactly what it is. It says in here somewhere. Whatever. But they've tracked so far 3,964 dead and 162,610 injured from the COVID-19 vaccines. So I think specifically it was the Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca. And they have data for all three of them in the table below. And it shows by country how many people have died from the things. And these are, I think it's a self-reporting system. So like if your mom gets the vaccine and then dies like a day later, then you can go on here and be like, vaccine this date, mom dead this date, and they can attribute it and do things and, you know, play with the data in different ways. But it's a non-governmental organization that was set up to specifically look out for these pharmaceutical companies that have governmental protection because they don't have to report things and yada, yada, yada. They can't get sued for vaccines, if you guys don't know. So the only way to get after them is to make your own organizations, and this is one of them. And according to this organization, there's 4,000 dead and 162,000 people injured from the vaccines in Europe so far. I'm not saying it's true or false. I'm just reporting. YouTube.
Right. Shoot. Yeah. I mean, so something you have to take with a grain of salt, just like the the beer virus death totals. You got to take it the same way with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like this information is correct and blah blah blah, but I'm saying that there's probably some credence to what they're saying, and to just ignore it is probably not smart. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, there are people that's going to have reactions to this virus anyway. I mean, to the vaccine anyway. So, I mean, it's bound to happen. But it's a good thing that they're still out here, though, because like this will not be reported on mainstream media anyway.
Yeah, this is the kind of story that a mainstream media isn't going to touch unless it's forced down their throat and they have to, you know?
Right.
So, again, this is something that I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it stands, but I thought it was interesting, and I thought I'd throw it in there. Tucker Carlson says, Michigan AG admits guest arrested for appearing on show. Sounds like dictatorship. So, what was this one? There was a lady who was an immigrant restaurant owner who stayed open through the pandemic, or at least tried to, and then went on a show to talk about it, right? And then talk shit about the AG, whatever her name is, in Michigan. And then that show found its way to the AG of Michigan, who then issued an arrest warrant for this lady and got her arrested for I'm not sure what. I didn't get
staying
that
open.
Yeah, for staying open. Yeah.
For staying open. That's what they got her on. Which she's not the only one. There's a bunch of people in Michigan who stayed open the whole time. The fact of the matter is that she opened her mouth, which made the AG mad in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Whitner, who's our governor, is nothing but a tyrant. And this is another example of a witless governor who didn't matter at all. When was the last time we cared about our governors on a large scale? Never, for all I can remember. But as soon as coronavirus came out, they had a ton of power and they used it and they abused it. That's exactly what this is about.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, it is kind of draconian. Like, oh, you spoke out. Like, she wouldn't have got arrested if she didn't go on the show. No. She wouldn't have got arrested if she didn't raise her voice and talk about it. And it's only because she did that she did get arrested. I mean, in my opinion.
It's very scary. The same thing happened to one of the barbers. A guy, one of the barber guys, opened up and he made national news. He stayed open during the whole time, and it was a big deal. And they went after him, and they went after his license. They went after everything about this guy, just because he wanted to continue to cut hair. Yeah, it's just, in my opinion, it's just terrifying.
Right, and that's the other thing they do is they go after your license. So in order to run a restaurant, let's say, right, you need to have a business license. You need to have like inspection and all this other stuff. And oh, you want to sell alcohol? It means you have to have an alcohol license and go through all these inspections. And for the government to arbitrarily just pull your fucking licenses, which they've done to these people for simply doing not what they're told exactly, like, hey, we're going to like separate our tables a little bit more and try to keep people apart. But we have waiters and waitresses and cooks and managers and people who have families who need to fucking pay their bills. And, like, we're going to stay open. Sorry. And yeah, now they're getting fucking, especially this chick's getting fucked for it, This one was crazy. California approves ethical studies curriculum that encourages counter-genocide against whites. Let me read that again. California approves ethical studies curriculum that encourages a counter-genocide against whites. Now, what does counter-genocide mean, guys? Like a preemptive genocide? Like we're going to genocide you before you genocide us? Yeah. Is that what that means?
Probably.
And now they're teaching that as part of a curriculum that's required by the California Board of Education. Like, where are we going right now is my question.
Well, that's what this is all
about right for California.
Isn't that what this is a setup for? Where they want to socially cancel people? That's a test to see if we can cancel you in real life. If they can make you disappear on Facebook and you get used to that, you'll get used to the fact that your neighbor disappears in person. It's the setup. That's all it is. It's a setup just like it was before with the Russian Revolution, with the Bolsheviks. It's the same thing.
And this curriculum was approved probably by a white council, maybe. A white, if it's California, a white and Latino council. So basically, it's kind of like a counter genocide against your own self. Shoot, for half of the council who approved this.
Well, and I think what it is like, how did 10,000 British troops control 500 million Indians? Not Native Americans, but Indian, like dot Indians. And the way that they did that was setting one group against another, one ethnic group against another, one like racial group against another, one dialect against another, one geographical region against another, so that no one had enough power to do anything. And then that 10,000 troops that they had there were able to do whatever they wanted to anybody that they wanted, and no one could stand against them. It's the same thing that they're doing in America today. They're putting one group against another, one ideology against another, one region against another, one dialect against another, one color against another, until the point where we're all bifurcated to the point where a few thousand troops can come through and do whatever the fuck they want, and no one's going to stand up for anyone else.
Yep.
But I'm just trying to get into the head of white liberals who approve this. Like, yes, I want genocide against myself. I'm trying to think, I don't know, what is their thinking, behind this all?
I don't know. What were the Nazis thinking in 1929? It seems pretty similar to me. And Brian Knight has it, divide and conquer. I mean, that's the only way that this country falls, is divided. United we stand, divided we fall. That's always been the mantra of our country. And we've been united since the beginning until, glaring example, the Civil War, but, But until now, I think we've been pretty united, even when, look at what happened post 9/11, right? Like, we got bombed, 10,000 people died on live TV in front of our eyes, and the country came together. The country got stronger in a way, and weaker in a lot of ways too, because we gave up a lot of our rights in the name of fighting terrorism. But at the same time, you drive down the street and every house has a flag in the front yard. You don't see that anymore.
I never want another September 11th, but I'd kill for a September 12th, right?
Right. That's good. But that's another thing, dude. Like, these kids these days who are so upset about things, who have their voices heard online, who, like, you know, are screaming at the top of their lungs with their blue hair. How old were they when 9/11 happened?
People like yelling out Wolverines in the chat.
I mean, these kids are 18, 19, 20, which means they were -1, negative.
Yeah, they weren't even around.
0. Like, they don't know shit. You don't know shit. Why should I listen to you? You have no experience in life. Why should I listen to you? You've been taught by ideological professors who are trying to indoctrinate you into a system of thinking. Why should I listen to you? The answer is I shouldn't, and neither should you. Sorry. Once you fucking know something, then I'll listen to you. Once you actually have some experience in life and you have an opinion that is based upon, like, reality, then I'll listen to you. But when you're a little kid just screaming at the top of your lungs because you've been taught by your professors to be a professional agitator, I don't give a fuck, dude. Fuck off. Sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry. Like, fuck off. Anyway. And the last story of the night. The Suez Canal crisis morphs into a global supply chain wrecking ball. This basically talks about the traffic jams that are backing up and, like, the money that it's costing and how we're going to run out of toilet paper again because of the tree pulp that can't make its way through to get to the places that need to process it and make toilet paper and stuff like that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
I'll just use my hands again.
But look at that. Like, how do you get your boat stuck like this, dude? It's like they did it intentionally.
My wife was explaining it to me. There's some weird, like, you gotta pay people to, like, tell you where to go in the boat, like, to drive the boat during the canal. And if, like, you don't pay them good enough, they'll, like, F you over. And it's crazy over there. So it's not just like, oh, you gotta drive your boat straight. It's some weird rules with that.
Oh, it's because it's like Arabic? Is that why?
Well, you know.
Not jumping to conclusions, but
Aw.
We are joined by the Nightstrike himself. How do you do, Mr. Nightstrike?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for coming tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm finally at home again, so I can actually jump into streams now instead of having shitty hotel Wi-Fi.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, life sucks. What can you do?
You definitely have that fact down, don't you, right now? Fuck my life.
Hell, I've seen what happened. What's going on? You've mentioned what's going on with your life, and everybody else has too. At one point, it's like everybody gets it eventually, right? No matter what it is, what happens, everybody gets the sucky part eventually.
As Jordan Peterson was talking about, everybody is 10 years away from a tragedy. Either you had one in the last 10 years, you're going to have one in the next 10 years, or you're going through one right now. And, like, if you don't fit into one of those three categories, you're fucking lucky.
Right. So it happens, but, we just got to learn it's part of life, and we need to learn how to cope with it.
So, Nightstrike, why are you driving boats through the Suez Canal?
That's not me. That's a buddy of mine, though. That was.
I knew it.
I believe his name was Raj. Raj was at the helm, and then he got distracted by, I think it was a desert storm, and then he turned the wheel wrong. And
I feel what it really was someone was at the helm and was just like, look at what I can do.
It's probably Hunan Muhammad.
Though I do want to mention, do you have the original picture of it getting stuck?
I have the original picture? No, I don't think so.
If you don't, I'll look it up real quick. But because there's really something funny about that picture.
I love the memes that are coming out of it, like the one that's like, "Help me, step excavator, I'm stuck."
Have you heard I don't know what to think about this because I haven't confirmed nor denied, but I found information pointing both ways that it was the first female captain from Egypt. Is an Egyptian boat.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but then I've also heard reports that disprove that. So like, I don't know what to believe.
So that's where I'm at too. I don't know which is which, but if it's true.
I heard it was Indian, but you know,
what I don't believe is that it was just a sandstorm that did it, because all those big ships have like basically autopilot systems that can essentially take them through oceans and canals and shit like that on autopilot, even through storms and shit. So a sandstorm shouldn't have...
Here it is. Here it is. Here's the original picture. Now, if you can't see it, I'll try and make it larger. Okay? Now look here. I don't think that excavator is doing any help right there. You see that?
That clapped out Komatsu is just doing everything it can.
No, I think that's a Kubota. But
just let me use all my strength.
He's like, I'll try and open up the canal for you.
Well, I mean, he's trying, man.
At least he's doing something, right?
All you need is a couple dozen rednecks with their trucks and some ratchet straps on either side.
Well, they tried that with tugboats. It didn't work. And I saw a picture where they had like 8 tugboats trying to tug this thing one way, and it just wasn't doing it.
I heard the Egyptians, I guess, are sending more tugboats or something like that. It's like,
where's Superman when you need him?
I know, right? But I just had to show that picture because I thought the picture of the excavator right in front of it was just like super hilarious.
Yeah, here's a better picture of the excavator. Look.
That's great. That's perfect. That's perfect.
I mean, you could reach underneath it a little bit and start digging it out with that thing. You're not going to push it out, but you can maybe get some of that dirt out of the way. I don't know how far you're going to get, though.
Yeah, it's tough because they basically beach that thing.
Well, there's dirt over here on this side, too. Digging here is not going to do much.
No, it's not. But it might help them. It might make them feel better, you know?
That's funny. Maybe if they use 2.
Yeah.
It's hard going back through these when you're done. I forget what some of them are in reference to. All the @he Hondas. Speaking of which, if you guys have something you want to say, give me an @he Honda, and I'll get to that. Captain Bastard Par says, we need to drop the race issue. Make it clear that we see it as people that work can be reasonable, try and are accountable for those that aren't. Sorry, that was hard to read.
Why would Democrats drop the race issue? That's what works for them.
It's a winning issue for them.
Yeah.
And as long as someone says racist and all the people who look like me are like, oh my God, I'm not racist. I'll do whatever you want. So you stop calling me that. Yeah, they're going to keep calling you racist.
You know, Leo mentioned the other day that they stole one of my, that the local police stole one of my ideas.
Yes.
What's that?
Well, before I told Leo he should just put a camera outside his window to just record all the crazy shit that goes on in his neighborhood, because you can hear it literally when, you know, on the weekends, and it's hilarious shit. And you know, instead the police went and put a camera right outside on one of the poles.
Yep.
First one.
And a shot spotter.
Yeah.
LOL, have you seen the shirt with a riot picture that says it's all fun and games till the roof starts speaking Korean?
Oh my God. So awesome.
I need that shirt. I need that shirt.
That's great.
All fun and games until the rooftop starts talking Korean. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's true.
Roof Koreans for the win.
X Adam 1 says, the last 3 weeks there have been 100 to 150 illegals caught daily when the normal number is 10 to 15, at least in the Del Rio Ciudad Angelina border.
I think you got that right.
Acuna.
Right.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Well, I mean, that means that it's 10 times what it normally is if those numbers are to be believed.
Yeah, because they're not stopping them at the border, right?
Dog says that's because Biden thought he was doing something good by reversing Trump's and reopening the border. Guess he was wrong. Do you guys remember how when the debates were going on, Biden kept saying, like, you should surge the border, you should surge the border? He said it like 3 times.
And now they're surging the border.
And now they're surging the border. Like, you got what you asked for, bitch. Fuck
Well,
off.
you saw that video that reporter did, right? Where she's like asking the guy in Tucson, like, would you have tried this when Donald Trump was president? He's like, no. And she's like, wait, are you saying that you came here just because Joe Biden's president? And he's like, pretty much.
Wow.
Because I couldn't get past Trump, but I can get past Biden.
Like, he was just honest about it. And they're like, oh, like, weren't expecting him to actually say that.
Oh, snap.
Devil Dog says, I live in Sacramento, California. I personally think that it was a mistake to give it to a specific group instead of all in that low-income demographic, but it was private funds, no tax money. Well, that's good to know. At least it's private funds. But, yeah.
You got a new super chat.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit, I got 2 of them. Ghost Shadow says, just fill the damn ship with helium.
Don't light a match.
Oh, the humanity.
Dude, what about like some sort of giant airbag system, right? Where you like get an airbag underneath the front and like next to the shore on the front, and then underneath the back and next to the shore in the back, and then you just pump them full of air and it like whoop,
Well,
fucking...
They do kind of have those airbag systems to help half sunken ships, become buoyant again. And they should.
But the problem is this is stuck in mud and sand and shit, I think.
Yeah, this is the problem. They might have to dig it out manually by hand.
Patrick Pepe says, any coincidence that Hillary's code name was Evergreen and has ties to that company?
Ooh. Leo, you know?
No comment.
Good man.
I say you unload it onto the shore and you just blow it there right in the canal.
Right. I mean, that would be the other thing to do. You just take out all the fuel and like pump out all the water that you can and get all the shipping containers off of the top and make it as light as possible. And then you do some other shit and get it loose, and then it's fine. I mean, that would take some time, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere that I think is the problem, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Suez Canal is not really in
It's halfway through the canal, from what I hear.
populated.
When I'm
it's
looking
like
at
the
it,
middle
there's a
of the
road
desert.
right here. Look. So you can get that close to it on a road. You can bring fucking equipment on semis in, and you can get to it. Like, it's not possible.
The problem is getting a big enough crane to be able to handle the amount of weight lifting it off.
I think all of Mac's rifles are on that container too. If I'm not mistaken.
Orders Hungarian SVD.
Oh my god! I can't believe you said that.
Mac just called the captain. Execute Order 66.
Right.
We'll be done, Mac.
Oh, I guess I was saying ethical, not ethnic, when we were talking about the, where was it? What story was that? The California approves ethnic studies. I said ethical. Sorry. Thanks, Ghost Shadow.
Right. Had to be Ghost Shadow to catch it.
Inequity.
What, antiquity?
Metatober says it's Nazi Germany all over again, and I think that's honestly like those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it. Yep. And I think there's a whole shit ton of these little fucking kids growing up today who know nothing about history who are repeating it right now. And like we need to do what we can to educate them as to why they're wrong and how they're wrong and exactly what road they're going down right now, you know? But then again, how do you do that to someone who's ideologically entranced?
Well,
Yeah,
and
and
history
doesn't wanna
repeats
learn it.
itself in patterns, right?
Tara Smith says, My niece can't get her asthma meds that work. They're COVID restricted. New meds weakened her heart at age 10. Heart attack another week before we found out if it was permanent damage. What?
Damn.
Dude, there's so many fucking negative effects of this whole COVID shutdown and like every economic shutdown and everything that are unmeasurable, right? I mean, maybe they are measurable, but they're not going to be anything that anyone can see for a while. You know, like hindsight's 2020, but we got to get to the future first. And by that point, all of these negative effects have already happened and systemically gone around and affected everything else. So, yeah, man. Manitoba where it says, the girl I went to high school with was talking about last year's 9/11 tribute and the kids laughing about it. Yeah, because these kids don't know what the fuck anything is. Because they were... Dude, I was so pissed when those fucking... Because I watched that shit live on TV, man. I watched 10,000 people fucking fall to their deaths and burn alive and fucking get smashed by a building. And
In school.
I was 19. I was not in school.
I was in school and I saw it. So.
And I stood in line. I didn't end up doing it, but I stood in line the next day for the Marine Corps and started filling out paperwork. And then I talked to my sister the next day, September 12th, that night, and she talked me out of it. But yeah, I was pissed, dude. I was ready to go jihad.
You weren't the only one.
My mammy... Damn it, would you change your name? I hate that fucking name.
Mammy Tomo.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it. Do you think the citizens of the Empire were united more after the rebels blew up the Death Star?
No, most of the citizens of the Empire couldn't give two shits about the Empire.
I mean, there was probably...
They were just afraid to rebel.
There were probably, like, the planets that, the Emperor had full control of, and, like, they have the media and everything, you know? I'm sure that was used as a propaganda tool to recruit more stormtroopers.
Well, I was pissed.
It was.
'Cause that's what all my tax money went to, and they just blew it up.
According to the Empire, the Death Star was a station of peace.
Yeah,
Yep.
those
It was actually codenamed the Life Star.
Those extremists that followed that old religion.
Yes,
they blew it up.
they blew it up.
Well, I have to admit, I did laugh when they blew up Alderaan. So,
What kind of psycho are you? Like laughing at that?
No.
It was funny.
He's got a point. About a couple hundred years before the Death Star, they built the Death Star. Alderaan decided they would get rid of every single weapon on the planet and ship it out into space. Yeah, that really helped, didn't it? See, that's why he's saying it's funny. That's why it's funny. Get rid of all your weapons and see what happens. Stuff like that.
Ghost Shadow says, in most canals, ship has to be driven by a canal employee, someone that is familiar with the canal. It is part of the fee that they have to pay.
Yeah.
So even if it was a female captain, it didn't matter. Just blow the boat up.
Yeah, but then you have to recover. You have to, dismantle it if you blow it up. That will take forever.
Tennessee guy says the canal didn't have these problems when it was under the British Empire.
Ooh, low blow.
It was like Emptiness says, what is a good starter reloading kit? I don't know about a whole kit, but get a single stage press like this guy, and then you can buy the dies individually, and then you can... Like, honestly, it's better to do it piecemeal, because when you buy those kits, you get a bunch of shit that you don't need, and also some of the stuff that they give you in the kit is lower quality. So you'd want to upgrade it anyway, so you're paying for some money for something that you're going to have to buy again. Like the scale that they give you is like a shitty one. You might want a better one. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just little things that you're going to want a better one of.
Talking about reloading?
Yeah.
Yeah, the best thing to do is find somebody who reloads, because they have a bunch of stuff that they have like doubles of. and usually they're willing to part with it because they've got like better high quality stuff. That's the best way to really do it.
I was at my local gun shop this week because I had to redo my concealed carry license. Man, it was all empty. All the shelves was just empty. The only thing left was guns that was like 1,500 and up.
Yeah, that market has been untouched. The $1,500 to $2,000 guns,
Yeah,
those are still there.
right. There was still a bunch of Desert Eagles on sale, but it was a lot.
The Gucci guns are not selling off the shelves like crazy.
No,
Right.
they're not.
Oh, and like some of the revolvers that they had that was in 38 special, they had some of those for sale, but there was no 38 ammo in the store.
He's right. Josh is right on that one.
Just let Chick-fil-A deal with the boats. They're good at getting vehicles moving through the line fast. Dude, I love Chick-fil-A for that. Because like there could be like 100 cars in line, and you're like, no problem.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Like they are so goddamn efficient.
No,
And then you go to McDonald's and you're sitting in line for like 20 minutes for 4 cars.
Yeah, I went there on Thursday. I got in line. They took my order just, when I was in line, and it took me 5 minutes to go around the building, get my food, and leave. It's that simple.
I didn't know anything about this. The artist formerly known as Deegan says, sorry I'm late. Did you all talk about the 200 China ships that are surrounding the Philippines? What?
I haven't heard of it.
Is that like just China doing its normal BS where it's trying to like poke a bear?
I can't spell. Chinese ships deployed rolls South China Sea, NPR, 2 days ago. 175 nautical miles off the blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. China has provoked international alarm by massing ships in the South China Sea near the reef, claimed by both China and the Philippines this week. Manila formally protested with what it called a violation of its sovereignty and sovereign rights and jurisdiction. The United States and Western ally-backed Philippines called for China to immediately withdraw and appears to be a flotilla of fishing vessels. Okay, satellite imagery obtained by NPR from Maxar Technology shows Chinese vessels moved across the crook of Broomerbang-shaped coral bar known as White Sun Reef. It also
It's racist.
okay, at least
Right, no one's talking about that.
images show Chinese boats lashed 10 abreast together, lingering in the waters of the reef that lies just beneath the surface. The Philippine Coast Guard reported spotting 220 vessels on March 7th. China claims much of the South China Sea for itself and has built several artificial islands that have some of other claimants, blah, blah, blah. Waters. Okay. They're just going into history there. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I wonder what they're doing. They're saying that there are a lot of them are fishing vessels, though.
Scroll further down. There's another image. That one right there. Those vessels are coupled together. You can't fish while you're standing still.
So what are they doing?
I have no idea. But that looks more like an exercise than it does a actual fishing expedition.
Does
No,
that look like a penis to you?
I just spent this last weekend reading World War Z and hearing the Chinese amassing like a bunch of boats. It kind of has me worried.
Right. Yeah, that's weird, dude. I don't know what they're doing.
Can you go back to the shape of the island? Just look at it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's boomerang.
Yeah.
Well, and we got another super chat here from Cove2A wannabe Hunan Muhammad. He says, if genocide against whites is to decrease out whites, then wouldn't a counter-genocide mean to increase the number of whites? Maybe. I don't know. I guess I don't know what the definition of counter-genocide is. I've never heard that term before.
Yeah, neither have I.
But it seems to me a counter-genocide would be like a preemptive genocide, right? Like what I was saying when we were talking about it. Like, you're going to kill all of us, so we're going to kill all of you first. Dwayne Christensen says, "Will we see riots in the streets this summer?" Yes.
Oh yeah.
Especially when the George Floyd thing comes in, because they're trying to go first-degree murder for the cop who did it or whatever, who was kneeling on him.
Yep.
And by the definition of first-degree murder, he's not guilty. So they're trying to get him with a charge that he's not guilty of. So they're going to have to come back with a finding of not guilty, and they're going to go fucking nuts because they're overcharging him.
Yeah. Yeah, because first degree is preemptive.
Yeah, he didn't intentionally kill him. It was negligence, yes, but it wasn't intentional. Like, he was sought out to murder the dude.
Captain Bastard Parr says the Death Star was stupid. They could have just built several glazing fleets.
Glassing fleets, yes. Just and eventually they did. They built Star Destroyers that could shoot giant lasers.
Yeah, but that wasn't until the movies got really gay.
Yeah, well, if you don't have to go by that one gay movie. You could go by the Dark Empire stuff.
You mean the trilogy that was dumb?
we don't talk about that. That's
Gak. Sorry about your balls, bro. Says, can you imagine Honda working in an armory for any military branch?
No, hold on. An armory, he would just be taking them apart and putting them back together. He wouldn't be, doing any sort of refinishing, anything other than taking them apart and putting them back together. So I think he can do that competently. It's just when it comes to, painting or having to do any resurfacing, you just let somebody else do that.
Leonardo Vu says, I went to Triple J about a week ago to put my P-22 on consignment and the employee forgot to give me a copy of the consignment. Should I be worried? Dude, honestly, the last couple of times I've dealt with Triple J Armory, they have been super disorganized, and I think it's a factor of the volume of business that they're dealing with right now is probably a lot higher than anything that they were ever prepared to do. So something like that, dude, I just give them a call in the morning. Like, I talked to the lady at the front desk earlier today because I got my my Heritage Rough Rider barkeep is in and ready for me to come pick up, but I've also got that lower coming. And I'm like, well, if I just do two at once, then I can save money rather than doing two separate background checks. I'll just do one background check for both if I just wait a couple of days. So I'm going to go in there in a couple of days. But yeah, man, every time I've been in there, they've been super disorganized and like way behind on everything. So give them a call, dude. I would give them a call. Yeah, apparently we were talking about a fishing fleet. I don't know what the fuck that is. Yep, and going back tomorrow to get a copy. Seriously, dude, go back tomorrow.
Seriously.
Hey, I think we're caught up. Counter-genocide is what happened in Rwanda.
That was just called genocide.
Yeah, I think that was just genocide.
I don't know what counter-genocide would be. But it's just kind of a dumb term. I'm not trying to I'm just saying it's kind of a dumb term.
Maybe it's a genocide after one genocide has already been committed. Like the survivors of said genocide then commit a counter-genocide against the other side.
Which is just genocide.
Genocide, it is, but it's like the whole concept of like counterinsurgency.
So these are container box missiles? So they look like a shipping container, but it actually has like a missile in it.
These have been around. These have been around for a couple years, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
The container missile system has actually been around for a while. I saw it several years ago.
That looks fun.
I hate all the advertisements.
Looks like it could be a good time.
But yeah, when you're looking at these things, right? And then we were looking at the, well, I guess I clicked off of that. But like the pictures of the boats that were lashed together, a lot of them had shipping containers on them. Oh, wow. And drones?
Yeah.
What else they got? Fighter pilot studio?
Chairs.
The Club K missile system has been around since like 2010.
Be a shame if a big evergreen ship happened to go through there.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, dude, that's some scary shit right there, dude.
How do we know that's not on the Evergreen? Or the Ever Given, I guess.
Bro, that's what's in China right now, like in the Philippines, like this boat right here.
Right.
Okay. Damn, China, you scary. Stop being so scary, China. So does anyone know where I should get a carry handle from that's cheap and good?
Cheap and good? Or just cheap?
Cheap and good.
Well, don't get Barska. You could try CDN Sports.
Well, I mean, like, there's this one that's $35, right? But what's the brand? I don't know. Is it good? I don't know. Is it durable? I don't know. What's the metal? I don't know. And then you can get like the mil spec ones are like $100, right?
Right.
And then Palmetto had a mil spec quote one for $70, and I was thinking about getting that. But
I mean, the Palmetto ones work. I've got some. I've also got some of these too, and these work fine too. I'll put a link in the side chat.
okay, see, that's more price appropriate.
It's more reasonable. Yes, it's not. It's probably not going to be as great as like a Colt, an original USGA Colt. But again, remember, you're not going to war with this. You're just using this on a rifle.
You never know with Honda.
You might be going to war with that.
Well,
We need something specifically for a rooftop event.
Okay, it'll do a rooftop event, but it will not do a trench event.
When the rooftop starts speaking Handler.
But again, I have a couple of these. These work just fine.
Okay.
Again, but you can go PSA. You can pay a little more, get the PSA one. And by the way, I was with AWAG. AWAG, he works for one of the companies that make the PSA parts now. And don't listen to Squib. All the PSA stuff is made 100% in the United States. And it's made either by the CNC shop that makes them here in South Carolina, or it's made by the CNC shop in Florida.
So FNG Starman says, "What brands are your ARs?" Well, the one that I'm putting together right now is a KE lower, like complete lower from KE Arms. Like
is that the one with the built-in A2 stock?
Yep, and
I love those. I love those.
I found one for $130. It was $140 shipped. So fucking super cheap for the now times for a lower, right? For a complete lower.
I saw one the other day for like a $99, but I think it was stripped.
Yeah, those are the stripped ones for $99.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found it for $120 built out, and then $20 for shipping. So
That's not that bad.
it's a pretty good deal. And then I got a Bear Creek Arsenal upper for like $330, I think is what it was.
Did you get a 20-inch, or are you going with 16?
Like I got the cheapest one they had, which was 16. So
Okay, it'll still work. You'll be fine.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't going for a specific one. I was just going for
something that works right. I got you.
So yeah, I think I got the cheapest AR-15 that you can buy on the internet right now.
Probably.
My $120 complete lower and my $330 complete upper.
Hey, I mean, whatever works, man. Whatever works.
It's a $450 AR, man. That's almost before times prices.
Almost. Though I did see on Sportsman's Guide they do have some uppers, 16-inch uppers for like $269.
Jumpy says, "What the hell happened to Grey Jedi? Did innate bigotry scare him off or something?"
No.
I think it was he got a new job that.
Yeah, he got a new job.
He's working different hours now.
Yeah.
He's just busy as fuck. Yeah. He pops in like once in a blue moon, but
he's also on the Discord a lot. So if you're on Discord and the time he's on, he's around.
Let on Steel says you can check Copper Customs for a carry handle.
No.
Only problem is market decides their pricing, so it's hit or miss.
No, it's not hit or miss. Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. That's cold. That's cold.
Patrick says, the What Would Stoner Do 2020 lower is an A1 length, not A2. Just get an Aero Precision carry handle.
That's another good option.
What tab am I on? Jesus, dude. Do you see how many tabs I have at the top of this fucking screen?
I've got more. I don't know what your problem is.
Many tabs. All of the tabs.
So put that one there. We'll make a new one. We're looking for Aero Precision. Yes.
I got a link.
Oh, okay.
Here. It's about the same price as the PSA.
Oh, like $70.
Yeah. There you go.
$80.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's out.
$79.99.
Close enough.
We need more super chats.
We need more super chats, guys. So keep them coming. If you're gonna push him to get the Aero Precision, you guys need to cough out at least another $10 or $20.
Jumpy also asks, is Link Rule still alive?
He is. He just he's more into what you call it, bullpups than he is actual rifles.
I think the problem there is we made fun of his barrel length
were a little mean
a little
to him.
too
Yeah.
hard.
Well,
I want him to come back.
he needs to grow out of his bullpup phase.
I'm just saying, we went maybe a little bit too
Yeah,
hard.
we were a little harsh on him.
Yeah. I think I called him Sheldon like 3 times.
More than that.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, I missed that.
I called him Tactical Timmy a couple times. Like that,
Tactical Timmy. There you go.
I'm not proud of it.
I mean, I don't see what his problem is. I get it just as bad as he did. Even more so.
But like it's expected.
FNG Starman says, do you know who makes Bear Creek Arsenal lowers? No idea. Isn't there only like a couple of companies that even make lowers, though?
There's a couple of forges in the country that make lowers for almost everybody in the industry. And FYI, I was talking with AWAC, and Palmetto State Armory sources their lowers from the same forgery that makes it for Aero Precision and Colt. Just in case anybody's wondering.
I do not know who makes Bear Creek.
It's a Colt forgery. I don't know, man. I've had many a PSA AR-15, and I have never had a problem with any of them. So I don't know why anyone needs to spend any more than a bare bones basic bitch AR-15 from Palmetto, But maybe that's just me. All right, guys. Well, we've been going about an hour and 20 minutes, which is more or less how long we go for the Gay Frog Chat. Went through a whole bunch of stories tonight, talked about guns, which is always fun. Anybody have any last minute anything that they want to get to before we call it quits?
I just hope Matt gets his rifles off that shipment container.
Maybe that's why the prices are so high.
I hope he gets them for the low price of $5,000 MSRP.
I hope that dirty piece of shit gets everything that's coming to him over this whole issue, and that people wake up and realize that pieces of shit that just want to sham and make money off of people, and under the guise of being a Second Amendment advocate, are losers. So that's all I have.
Wow.
The artist formerly known as Deegan's asking for an R1 video. Fine, that will be the next gun video that I do. Will be on my R1. Fair enough. But on that note, we're going to go ahead and shut it down, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the show. I hope you all have a fantastic night. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Guns and Geeks podcast, where we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, but it's fun anyway. And we'll see you then. I hope you guys have a good night. Peace out.
Later, all.
Fuck Carol Baskins.